Hi guys, this is Tricia Sciortino, the CEO of Belay. And right now there's a lot of you out there having and holding remote meetings, and maybe you never have before. A lot of you might be using tools like Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, Google Hangout, whatever that may be, to have your first ever webcam team meetings or individual meetings. So I wanted to share some tips on how to have a successful and effective Zoom team meeting. It's something we at Belay have done for many, many years as an all remote organization. So first and foremost, have a scheduled calendar time that you're going to have your meeting, and think through how much time you actually need based on the topics you need to cover and the information you need to share, whether that's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours or beyond, thinking through how much time you actually need and getting that blocked on the calendar. Secondarily, as you start framing your agenda, here's what we recommend. At the top of your agenda, leave 5 minutes for open talk, warm welcomes, get everybody settled, how's everybody's day, 5 minutes denoted to joining the meeting. From there, framing your agenda can be something that you dictate as a leader, but for us, we actually solicit some of the agenda items depending on the meeting. So you may have other team members who would like to add an agenda item because they have something specific from their department they want to talk or review. So we use a collaborative forum for our leadership team to meet where we contribute to the agenda and build it out as a group the days before, so that when we come to the meeting, we already have our agenda set up. In addition to that, we email the agenda out to all the participants the day before the meeting, so everybody's prepared to know what we're going to talk about, what will be discussed, and how much time is allotted. So then you get the meeting started. We set somebody to really be the meeting owner, whether that's you as the leader and you're going to do the welcome and kind of move the team through your agenda, keep everybody on time, monitor the topics, or you may want to set somebody else on your team to do those things. We also sometimes have a virtual assistant join us for a few different reasons, taking notes and helping keep us on track in time, so you can decide if you want to use a team member or your VA to help you keep the meeting moving as you would like and also take notes for you. So setting somebody to own the driving of the meeting and keeping to the time frame and taking notes and action items is important to make sure you have a successful and effective meeting. There are also some things like, do you need to record the meeting? Is somebody on your team unable to participate in that meeting because they're on time off, or they're out for the day, or they have a conflict? So you may want to record your meeting so they can watch it back later. And they also have the opportunity to read notes and the action items from the meeting if you have somebody designated to do that, which we also highly recommend, is having somebody kind of responsible for capturing what comes out of your meeting, capture decisions, capture next steps, capture agreements, capture action items, and email them to the global team after your meeting is over. For us, we have my assistant Melissa join our team meetings, and she captures those things for us, and she sends us the notes and the action items same day, which is really, really effective for us. Last but not least, consider how you're going to close the meeting out. We usually close it with a, did we talk about all the things we needed to today, and were they important? And we do a rating. We do fist to 5. 5 means we were on point. We talked about all the things we were supposed to. 4 means close. And we just agree that we spoke about the things we were supposed to. And sometimes we run out of time. And so when that happens, we either A, have already started building the agenda for the following week's meeting and agree that we're going to add that to the next week's meeting. Or if we feel like it's mission critical, we will extend the meeting or schedule an additional meeting. So if you feel like you weren't able to cover all the things you needed to in your time together, you may consider whether topics bump back to another meeting time, or if you need to extend the current meeting, or if you want to schedule a net new meeting. So that is how we practice the actual function of the webcam meeting from a logistical standpoint. There are some other things that you may consider as well. One is we actually mandate that everyone have their video turned on because we want to see faces. Body language is important. Facial reaction is important. We want people to be engaged and connected to the meeting. So we ask that everybody have their video turned on. Depending on the situation, we will ask people to mute their volume if there's feedback that's coming through or there's excess noise where somebody's coming from. We may ask them to mute their audio. The only thing with mute that I caution you about is if everyone's on mute, it can sometimes hinder people's ability to chime in and speak because they have to go through the step of deciding to unmute and comment and mute. So we try and remain unmuted if it's a small enough group and we don't have feedback, but you might want to use the mute function if it's a larger group of people and you're getting feedback and excess noise that can be very distracting to the group. The second thing we ask the team too is to, on your video, try and not be a distraction yourself. So be mindful of what's behind you. Maybe your desk is set up with a wall behind you versus a room because there might be distraction in the background, which could distract other people on the Zoom call where their eye is drawn to activity in somebody's little webcam box versus what the important conversation is. So that's something that we also like to recommend as well. And secondarily, really being focused, being attentive, and being engaged as best you can. Like I said earlier, allowing time for rapport, allowing time for welcome, and allowing time for people to connect as people is important when you're having webcam meetings and you are working remote, because you don't have those water cooler moments where you can just say hey and ask how somebody's day was. So allowing some of that in your agenda at the beginning and maybe even as you close will be important for your organization's connection and collaboration. So those are some great tips on how to have a successful remote webcam meeting. I hope these help you on your journey, and I'll see you soon.